The morning sun shone brightly over Enchancia. Birds chirped in the castle gardens, and soft pink clouds floated across the sky. It was a beautiful day, and a very special one, too. Today was the royal celebration of crowns, a yearly event where all the royal families of nearby kingdoms came together. There would be music, dancing, and the grand moment where each princess would wear her special crown. Sofia the First was extra excited. It would be her first time wearing the royal crown that once belonged to Queen Miranda, her mother. The crown was small, silver, and sparkled with tiny blue stones. Sofia had been looking forward to this day for weeks. She twirled around her room in her lavender gown and looked at herself in the mirror. "How do I look, Clover?" she asked. Clover, her fluffy bunny friend, stretched lazily on her bed. "You look like a real royal princess. Just don't trip over that big dress again." Sofia giggled. "Don't worry, I practiced all night." There was a knock on the door. Amber stepped in, her golden gown shining brightly. "Sofia, the ceremony starts in 1 hour. Hurry up, or we'll be late." "I'm ready," Sofia said cheerfully. "I just need to get my crown." She walked over to the royal case where her crown had been kept safely. But when she opened the box, it was empty. Her smile vanished. "Wait, where's my crown?" Amber blinked. "What do you mean? It's supposed to be right there." Sofia's heart started to race. The crown, her crown, was gone. Sofia searched every corner of her room. She looked under her bed, behind her curtains, even in Clover's food basket. Nothing. Amber crossed her arms. "Are you sure you didn't move it, Sofia?" "I didn't," Sofia said, her voice trembling. "I saw it right here last night." Clover hopped closer and sniffed the floor. "I smell something shiny. Or maybe that's just your perfume." "This isn't funny, Clover," Sofia sighed. "If I don't find my crown, I can't join the ceremony." Amber frowned. "We should tell Mom and Dad." "No," Sofia said quickly. "Not yet. Maybe it just fell somewhere. I'll find it before they notice." Amber hesitated but nodded. "All right, but hurry. We don't have much time." Sofia grabbed her amulet and whispered softly, "Amulet of Avalor, guide me true. Help me find what's lost from view." The amulet glowed brightly, and a soft whisper filled the room. "Follow the light of honesty, and you will find what you seek." A tiny sparkle appeared near the door. "Look," Sofia gasped. "The amulet is showing me the way." Amber followed as Sofia hurried through the hallways. The sparkle floated like a tiny firefly, leading them down the royal stairs and into the castle garden. When they reached the fountain, the sparkle vanished. Sofia looked around. "It led us here. But where's the crown?" Amber pointed. "Look. Footprints." Small muddy footprints trailed across the path near the bushes. Clover hopped forward and sniffed. "Not human. Smells like squirrels." "Squirrels?" Sofia asked in surprise. Amber groaned. "You can't be serious. A squirrel stole your crown." Sofia looked thoughtful. "Maybe not stole, maybe borrowed." They followed the tracks to the edge of the garden. Behind a rose bush, they found a small hole leading into the hedge maze. Sofia peeked inside. It's dark in there, but the footprints go in. Amber shivered. "Ugh, that maze is scary. You get lost so easily." Sofia smiled gently. "Then we'll stay together. Come on." Holding her gown, Sofia crawled into the maze, Clover right behind her. Amber followed with a sigh. The air inside was cool and quiet. The hedges were tall and green, and tiny sparkles of light floated like fireflies. Sofia whispered, "Hello? Is anyone here?" A rustle came from above. Suddenly, 3 tiny squirrels popped out from the branches, each holding a shiny object. Amber gasped. "My bracelet." That's where it went. Sofia stepped closer and smiled kindly. "Hello, little ones. Did you take something from my room?" The smallest squirrel squeaked nervously and dropped something shiny. It was a silver hairpin. Sofia knelt down. "It's okay. I'm not angry. But did you take a crown too?" The squirrels looked at each other and nodded. Then one of them pointed deeper into the maze. Amber whispered, "You mean it's still in there?" Sofia nodded. "Then that's where we're going." As they walked deeper into the maze, the sunlight faded. Vines twisted around the path, and the air grew chilly. Clover whispered, "This place gives me the creeps." Sophia held her amulet tightly. "Don't worry, Clover. We'll find it soon." Just then, they reached a small clearing with a tree in the middle. On one of its branches hung the silver crown, sparkling softly in the shade. Sophia gasped, "There it is." But as she stepped forward, the ground beneath her began to glow. A magical circle of light surrounded the tree. Amber stepped back. "Sophia, stop. It's a trap." The crown shimmered brighter, and suddenly a soft voice echoed through the maze. "You seek the lost crown of kindness, but only the pure of heart may take it." Sophia froze. "Who said that?" The voice replied gently, "Prove your heart is true, Princess Sofia." Sophia stood tall and said softly, "I only want my crown so I can honor my family. Please, I mean no harm." The magical circle faded, and the crown slowly floated down into Sophia's hands. Amber sighed in relief. Finally, Sophia smiled, holding the crown close. "Thank you." But the voice whispered once more, "Your journey has only begun, young princess. The crown's magic must be protected." Before Sophia could reply, the light disappeared and the maze fell silent. Sophia looked at Amber. "Did you hear that?" Amber nodded slowly. "I think your crown has more secrets than we thought." Sophia glanced at the crown in her hands. It shimmered faintly, glowing blue. She whispered, "Then we'll find out what they are." And as they walked back toward the castle, the crown's soft light followed them, marking the start of a new royal mystery. Crown sparkles. When Sophia and Amber returned to the castle, the grand hall was already full of music and laughter. The royal celebration of crowns had begun, but Sophia couldn't stop staring at the silver crown glowing softly in her hands. Amber whispered, "You better put on before Mom and Dad noticed we were gone." Sophia nodded and carefully placed it on her head. The glow faded, but she could still feel a strange warmth around it, like the crown was alive. Clover hopped beside her. "It's sparkling less now, but I swear I saw that thing glow blue back in the maze." Amber adjusted her necklace. "Maybe it's just the sunlight. Don't be so jumpy." But Sophia wasn't so sure. When she looked at her reflection in the mirror, she saw a faint blue light flicker deep inside the crown's largest jewel. The trumpet sounded, and King Roland entered the hall with Queen Miranda by his side. "Welcome, everyone, to the royal celebration of crowns," the king announced proudly. "Today we honor the kindness and courage of every young royal." The crowd clapped. Sophia stood beside Amber and tried to smile, but she couldn't stop thinking about the voice from the maze. The crown's magic must be protected. What magic did it mean? And why her? After the ceremony, the guests began to enjoy the feast. Sophia sat quietly at her table, picking at her dessert. Amber noticed. "Why so serious, little sister? You got your crown back. Everything's perfect." Sophia shook her head. "Amber, something isn't right. The crown spoke to me." Amber blinked. "Spoke to you? Like, hello, princess?" Sophia frowned. "Not exactly. It said the crown's magic must be protected." Amber sighed. "Sophia, sometimes you let your imagination run too wild." But Clover hopped onto the table. "I heard it too, Amber." The maze was glowing and talking. It was spooky. Amber rolled her eyes. "A talking crown, glowing maze. Next, you'll tell me the teapot can sing." Sophia crossed her arms. "You'll see. I'm going to find out what this crown really is." That night, when the celebration was over and the castle was quiet, Sophia tiptoed to the library. The moonlight shone through the tall windows as she searched the shelves. She whispered, pulling out a dusty old book titled Royal Relics and Ancient Magic. She flipped through the pages until she found a picture that made her gasp. It was her crown. The caption read, "The Crown of Light, once worn by the first Queen of Enchancia. It glows only in the presence of a pure heart. Its power protects the kingdom from darkness." Sophia's eyes widened. The Crown of Light? That means it's magical. Clover's ears twitched. Protects the kingdom from darkness? That sounds important. And kinda scary. Just then, the door creaked open. Amber stepped inside in her nightgown. I knew you'd sneak down here. What are you doing? Sofia showed her the book. Look, this says, my crown is really called a crown of light. It has ancient magic. Amber leaned closer. So what kind of magic? Sofia pointed. It says it glows when danger is near, and it can only be used by someone who has a good and honest heart. Amber smirked. Well, that explains why it's not glowing for me. Sofia giggled softly. Amber laughed, but then her face turned serious. If what that book says is true, maybe that voice in the maze was real. Maybe the crown was testing you. Sofia nodded slowly. But testing me for what? Before Amber could answer, the crown began to glow again, this time brighter than ever. Clover jumped. Oh, is that the danger is near kind of glow? The jewels flashed blue and white, casting patterns of light on the library walls. Then, without warning, the glow formed into a shimmering image above the crown, a ghostly figure of a woman in a royal gown. Amber gasped. Who is that? The figure smiled kindly. Princess Sofia. I am Queen Althea, the first Queen of Enchancia. You wear my crown. Sofia froze. Why your crown? Yes, said the queen softly. The crown of light holds the power of protection. Long ago, it kept the kingdom safe from shadows that tried to steal its joy. Amber whispered, Shadows? As in dark magic? Queen Althea nodded slowly. Indeed, the darkness has returned. Only the one with a pure and brave heart can awaken the crown's full magic. Sofia took a step forward. You mean me? The queen's image flickered. You have already proven your kindness, Sofia. But now you must prove your courage. Before the next sunrise, the shadow stone will rise again beneath the castle. You must find it and protect the light. The shadow stone? Sofia asked. Where is it? In the hidden halls below Enchancia, the queen said. Follow the path where sunlight cannot reach. You will find both the light and the dark. Before Sofia could say another word, the vision faded and the glow disappeared. Amber's jaw dropped. Did that really just happen? Clover gulped. I'm starting to think bedtime was a better idea. Sofia stared at the crown in her hands. If Queen Althea was right, the kingdom is in danger. I have to find the shadow stone. Amber frowned. And you think I'm letting you go alone? Not a chance. Sofia smiled gratefully. Then let's go together. Clover sighed. I guess I'm coming too. Someone's got to keep you princesses out of trouble. They quietly left the library, the moonlight following them through the halls. In Sofia's hands, the crown glowed once again, guiding her toward the shadows below the castle. The castle was quiet that night, the moonlight glowing through the windows as Princess Sofia, Princess Amber, and Clover moved carefully through the long corridors. Everyone else was asleep, but Sofia's heart was racing. The words of Queen Althea echoed in her mind. Follow the path where sunlight cannot reach. Amber held a candle, her golden hair shining in the faint light. Sofia, you sure about this? What if it's just a dream? Sofia shook her head. It wasn't a dream, Amber. The queen was real. The crown showed her to me. And she said we have to find the shadow stone before sunrise. Clover hopped along beside them, ears twitching. I still don't like this darkness under the castle idea. Sounds like something that eats bunnies for breakfast. Amber rolled her eyes. Clover, nothing's going to eat you. We're princesses, remember? We handle royal problems. Clover muttered. Yeah, and I handle running away if things get spooky. They reached a narrow stairway behind the old tapestry of the first king. Sofia had discovered it once while playing hide-and-seek. The stairs spiraled down into the dark. Sofia lifted her glowing crown. This must be the way. Look! The crown shining brighter. The three of them began their descent. Step by step, the air grew colder. The warm candlelight flickered against stone walls covered with old carvings, crowns, stars, and swirling patterns of light. Amber whispered, This place is ancient. No one's been down here in years. Sofia nodded. It must be the hidden halls the queen spoke about. When they reached the bottom, they found a long hallway stretching into the darkness. Strange blue crystals on the walls began to glow as Sofia stepped forward, lighting the way. Clover's eyes widened. Okay, glowing rocks. That's not creepy at all. Sofia smiled softly. I think they know we're here to protect the crown's magic. As they continued walking, they passed giant stone doors, each engraved with different royal symbols. One showed a sun, another a heart, and the third, a shadowy shape with glowing red eyes. Amber frowned. That must be it, the shadow door. The crown glowed even brighter, almost as if agreeing. Sofia took a deep breath. Ready? Amber nodded. Ready. Clover hid behind her gown. Not ready, but go ahead anyway. Sofia reached for the door. The moment her fingers touched it, the carvings began to move, swirling into light and shadow. The heavy door opened with a deep rumble, revealing a wide chamber filled with floating dust and shimmering mist. In the center stood a black stone glowing faintly with dark red light. The Shadow Stone. Amber whispered, It's beautiful and kind of scary. Sofia stepped closer, her crown glowing brighter. Queen Althea said we need to protect it. But from what? Before anyone could answer, a sudden gust of cold air filled the room. The shadows on the walls stretched and twisted into tall, thin figures with glowing red eyes. Clover yelped. I knew it. The spooky part always comes now. Amber held Sofia's hand tightly. What are they? A deep voice echoed around them, slow and cold. We are the forgotten shadows, once cast out by the crown of light, and now we shall return. Sofia's heart pounded. You can't. This kingdom belongs to the light. The shadows laughed, swirling closer. Then we shall take it from you, little princess. The crown on Sofia's head began to glow with a powerful golden light, pushing the shadows back. Sofia shouted, I won't let you hurt anyone. Amber gasped. Sofia, look, the crown's protecting us. The light spread from the crown, forming a shimmering circle around them. But the shadows pressed harder, whispering dark words that made the air feel heavy. Sofia took a deep breath. Queen Althea said courage would awaken the crown's magic. I have to be brave. She closed her eyes, holding the crown with both hands. Please, help me protect Enchancia. The crown's light burst into a brilliant beam that shot up to the ceiling, filling the chamber with warmth and hope. The shadows screamed and vanished, melting into smoke. When the light faded, the shadow stone no longer glowed red. It shimmered white, peaceful and calm. Amber looked around. Did we do it? Clover peeked out from behind a rock. Are they gone? Really gone? Sofia smiled softly. Yes. The crown's light purified the stone. The darkness is gone. Amber hugged her sister tightly. You did it, Sofia. You really did. But before they could celebrate, the ghostly figure of Queen Althea appeared again, her smile gentle and kind. You have done well, Princess Sofia. You face the shadows with courage and love. The kingdom is safe again. Sofia looked up at her. Thank you, Queen Althea. But why me? The queen's voice was soft. Because your heart shines brighter than any jewel. Remember, true royalty is not about crowns. It's about kindness and bravery. With that, her image faded once more, leaving behind only a warm glow. Amber smiled proudly. Looks like you're more royal than any crown could ever show. Clover grinned. And now maybe we can finally go back to bed? Sofia laughed. Yes, Clover. Let's go home. As they climbed back up the long staircase, the morning light began to shine through the castle windows. The first rays of dawn touched the crown, making it sparkle softly. Amber smiled. The sunrise. Just in time. Sofia nodded. We kept the lights safe, just like Queen Althea wanted. And as they reached the top of the stairs, the crown glowed once more. Not because of magic, but because of the bright, brave heart of a princess who believed in the power of light and love. The next morning, sunlight filled every corner of Enchancia Castle. Birds sang outside, the sky was bright blue, and everything seemed peaceful again. But Sofia couldn't stop thinking about the Shadow Stone and Queen Althea's warning. Amber stretched on her bed. Well, I'm glad that's over. No more scary shadows or glowing crowns. Just tea, jewels, and a little beauty sleep. Clover was snoring on a pillow nearby, his fur ruffled from the long night. No more underground adventures, he mumbled in his sleep. But Sofia was quiet. She sat by the window, looking at her crown resting on the table. The jewel at its center still shimmered faintly. She whispered, "You're still glowing. Why?" Suddenly, the crown pulsed with a soft blue light. A whisper floated through the room. "The darkness sleeps, but it is not gone." Sofia gasped, "Queen Althea?" But no one answered. She jumped up and called softly, "Amber, wake up." The crown just spoke again. Amber groaned, pulling the blanket over her head. "Sofia, maybe it's just the wind." "It wasn't the wind," Sofia said firmly. "The queen," said the darkness, "isn't gone." That got Amber's attention. She sat up. "What do you mean, not gone?" "We saw it disappear." Clover's ears twitched. "Oh, no, not again. Please tell me the spooky part isn't starting." Sofia looked worried. "Maybe the shadows are still here, hiding somewhere." Amber frowned. "But where?" The shadow stone turned white. Sofia nodded. "Yes, but what if the darkness escaped before the light reached it?" Clover gulped. "So you're saying there might be a creepy leftover shadow somewhere in the castle right now?" Amber sighed. "Great. I was hoping for a royal nap, not a royal ghost hunt." Sofia smiled softly. "We can handle it. We did before." Later that day, while the castle was busy with guests and servants, Sofia, Amber, and Clover quietly went back to the library. Sofia carried the crown of light in her hands, wrapped in a silk cloth. Amber whispered, "So what's the plan?" Sofia opened the same old book from before. "The queen," said the darkness, "tried to steal the kingdom's joy. Maybe it feeds on sadness or fear." Clover's eyes darted around. "Then maybe it's hiding somewhere dark and sad, like the dungeon?" Amber frowned. "We are not going to the dungeon again." But Sofia pointed at the page. "It says the light of the crown can reveal hidden evil. If we walk to the castle with it, maybe it will show us where the shadow is hiding." Amber sighed. "Fine, but if we see anything creepy, I'm running straight to Mom." Clover nodded. "Me too." They started walking through the castle halls. Everything looked normal. The chandeliers sparkled, the tapestries shone, and servants smiled as they passed. But as soon as they reached the old West Wing, the air changed. The sunlight seemed dimmer, and the paintings on the walls looked darker. Sofia's crown began to glow faintly. "It's reacting," she whispered. Amber looked around nervously. "I knew we should have brought guards." Clover pointed toward an old door. Sofia, I think your shiny hat wants us to go that way." They opened the creaky door and stepped inside a forgotten storage room. Dust filled the air, and cobwebs hung from the ceiling. Sofia held up the crown. "Show us the truth." The light from the crown spread across the walls and revealed a dark, swirling shadow hidden in the corner. Amber gasped. "It's back!" Clover screamed, "Run for your royal lives." The shadow hissed, its shape twisting like smoke. "You cannot banish what is part of the dark." Sofia stood her ground. "You don't belong here." Amber grabbed her sister's arm. "Sofia, what are you doing?" Sofia's voice was calm but strong. "I have to finish what we started." She placed the crown on her head, and the jewel began to shine like the sun. "Light of the first queen, protect this kingdom." The crown's light grew brighter, filling the room with warmth. The shadow screamed and shrank back, trying to hide. But Sofia took a deep breath and whispered, "I'm not afraid of you." The moment she said those words, the light flared even stronger. The shadow vanished completely, gone in a burst of golden sparkles. Amber blinked. Is it really over this time?" The crown's glow faded to soft blue, peaceful and calm. A gentle voice filled the air once more. "Well done, Princess Sofia. The last darkness has been lifted. You have freed the crown of light forever." Sofia smiled. "Queen Althea?" Her ghostly figure appeared again, smiling proudly. "You have faced a shadow within fear itself. The light you carry comes not from the crown, but from your heart." Amber's eyes softened. "She's right, Sofia. You were braver than anyone I know." Queen Althea's image began to fade. "The kingdom will remember this night." The The crown of light will rest in peace, as will I. And with that, the queen disappeared one final time. Clover wiped his forehead. Phew, that was the last adventure for a long time, right? Sophia laughed. Maybe, but you never know what magic Enchantia will bring. Amber smiled, linking her arm through Sophia's. At least next time, we're bringing a map. They walked back to the bright halls, sunlight shining through every window again. The castle was full of laughter once more, and Sophia felt peace in her heart. She whispered quietly, "Thank you, Queen Althea. The light will always stay safe." The next morning, the castle of Enchancia sparkled brighter than ever. The sun rose high, and the air was filled with joy and laughter. Princess Sofia and Princess Amber sat together in the royal garden, surrounded by flowers, birds, and the soft sound of fountains. Clover munched happily on a carrot nearby. Finally, a peaceful morning. No glowing crowns, no spooky shadows, just breakfast and sunshine. Amber giggled. "For once, Clover, I agree with you." Sophia smiled softly. She looked down at the crown of light, now resting quietly on her lap. The jewel at its center glowed gently, not bright like before, but warm and steady, like a tiny piece of sunlight. She whispered, "You've done so much for us." "Thank you." Amber leaned closer. "So, what will you do with it now?" Sophia looked thoughtful. Queen Althea said the crown's power comes from kindness and courage. Maybe it doesn't belong locked away in a chest. Maybe it belongs where people can see it and remember what it stands for. Amber nodded. "A symbol of light. I like that." Just then, King Roland and Queen Miranda appeared in the garden. The king smiled proudly. "Good morning, my daughters. We've heard some rather magical things happen last night." Amber blushed. "You could say that." Sophia stood up. "Father, the crown wasn't just any crown. It was the crown of light, the one that once protected Enchantia from darkness." Queen Miranda gasped softly. "Truly?" Sophia nodded. "Yes, it spoke to me through Queen Althea's spirit. It helped me and Amber stop the shadows that tried to return." King Roland placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "You've done something wonderful. Sophia, you protected the kingdom with your heart." Sophia smiled. "But I didn't do it alone. Amber and Clover helped me. The crown's magic worked because we worked together." Amber grinned. "She's right. I might have been scared at first, but we made a pretty great team." Clover puffed up proudly. "And don't forget the brave bunny who faced the darkness." Everyone laughed. Later that day, a royal meeting was held in the Great Hall. Nobles, guards, and castle helpers gathered to hear Sophia's story. The crown rested on a golden stand beside her, glowing softly as she spoke. Sophia began. "The crown of light once belonged to Queen Althea, the first queen of Enchantia. It holds the power to protect the kingdom from darkness. But I've learned that its true strength doesn't come from magic. It comes from love, bravery, and friendship." She looked around the hall. "Each of us carries a little bit of light in our hearts. When we choose kindness, we make the world brighter." The crowd clapped warmly. Queen Miranda's eyes filled with proud tears, and King Roland smiled at his youngest daughter with pride. When the ceremony ended, Sophia turned to Amber. "I think we should keep the crown in the Hall of History, not as a treasure, but as a reminder." Amber nodded. "A reminder of what?" Sophia smiled. "That even in the darkest times, there's always light if we stand together." That evening, Sophia went to her balcony. The stars twinkled above, and the moon shone like silver. She could see all of Enchantia sleeping peacefully under the night sky. Clover hopped up beside her. "You really did it, Sophia. You saved the whole kingdom." Sophia smiled. "We all did, Clover. You were brave, too." Clover grinned. "Well, someone had to keep you two princesses safe." Sophia laughed softly, her eyes turning to the horizon. "Queen Althea said the crown's magic is in the heart. I think she was right. Maybe that's why it chose me." Just then, a soft, golden light appeared in front of her, the gentle, familiar glow of Queen Althea's spirit. The queen spoke in her calm, warm voice. "Princess Sofia, you have done all that was asked and more. The kingdom is safe, and the light of friendship shines bright within you. Sofia bowed her head. Thank you, Queen Althea. I'll always protect Enchancia. The queen smiled. You already have, my dear. Remember, where there is love, there can be no shadow. And with that, her image faded into the stars, leaving behind a soft sparkle that drifted down onto Sofia's crown. The next morning, Sofia placed the crown carefully in the Hall of History, right beside the portraits of past kings and queens. A plaque beneath it read, "The Crown of Light, a symbol of courage, kindness, and friendship, protected by Princess Sofia, who reminded us all that the truest light comes from the heart." Amber stood beside her, smiling. You really are the Princess of Light now. Sofia giggled. Maybe, but I'm also your sister, and that's the best part. Amber laughed and hugged her. You're right. Royal adventures are better when we do them together. Clover hopped between them. And don't forget your royal bunny helper. Both girls laughed, and the sound filled the hall with joy. The sunlight from the tall windows landed perfectly on the crown of light, making it shimmer like a rainbow. Sofia looked up and whispered, "The light of friendship will always shine in Enchancia." And in that warm, golden glow, Sofia knew her journey wasn't just about finding a lost crown. It was about discovering the true meaning of being a princess. To be kind, to be brave, and to never stop believing in the magic of friendship.